So you can go to the tardy book and we'll sign you out. So hopefully you don't have any tardies. So then you have like 5 more times if it's like really an emergency. But if you already have some tardies going on, maybe think twice. The good thing is we're first block. You can you're at home for a little while. It shouldn't be an issue. A lot of people get bonus points. Anybody have a question about how to signal to me that you need to use the restroom or go to the nurse? We're good? Okay, so moving on. Oh, last thing. If there's any other reason, like, I really, really need to go to the gym because I left my bag there, or I really got to go to Miss So-and-so's room because I need to drop this assignment off to her, you can go before class, but you might be tardy. Okay? That's your call. But if it's like the middle of class, or it's at the end of class, I'm going to say, no, you're stuck. You're stuck in here with me. So if the office calls you, that's totally different, right? But make sure you take care of obligations outside of here because we need every last minute of this class. It's very precious. It's not personal. Let me just put it to you that way. Okay. Did anybody see these little things that I just handed out? Did you wonder, what is that? Oh, I might want one of those myself. This class is very heavy on performance. It's like a sport. It's like an instrument. You have to play your instrument. You have to play and practice your sport in order to get a grade. Okay? So these are what we're going to call Eurevol, which is euros. And a euro, can somebody raise their hand and tell me what a euro is? Yes, what's a euro? It is money. Does anybody know where that money would be found? If you raise your hand, tell me, where would you find a euro? Yes, that's right, in France. It is the money that they use in France. It's the currency, not only in France, but it's called a euro, so they use it a lot of places in Europe. So like Germany, like all those different countries, except England, they don't use it. It's kind of like a dollar, okay? It's a coin. It's actually in a coin form. And so this is money. Anybody in here have a job? No? Anybody ever earned some money before? Did you have to do some work? Do you like to work for free? I don't like to work for free either. So when you participate, they just did some work, right? They thought about the answer and they did some work giving you the answer. Guess what? They're not working for free. I just paid them. So when you work in here, you get paid. Think about your other classes. How many times you participated before? You didn't get paid, right? You just did it because it was the right thing to do. I'm actually going to pay you. I'm going to pay you for your work. So if you look at your syllabus, turn the page after the letter. Thank you. Yes? Okay, great. What is the percentage of these Euro grades? Let's look down here. Somebody tell me how much these euros are worth. It says weekly Euro grades. You want to raise your hand and tell me? Tarika. 50%. So she just did some work. I'm going to pay her 50%. Man, that's a lot. So every day in class, your goal is earning as many of these as you can by doing some work. It doesn't have to be that you talk. It could be like I've asked you all to do a drawing, and maybe I want somebody to share their drawing for the whole class. You just go up there and show it. You still did some work, but did you have to talk? No, you didn't have to talk. So it's not always about talking. It could be like maybe you wrote a sentence, and I would like for you to go put it under the document camera and share it. You didn't have to talk, but you still did some work, right? So that's what this is. Y'all, if you can earn these, your grade is going to be awesome. You're going to have an awesome grade in here. If you can't earn these, that's going to hurt you, okay? But I'll tell you this. In all the times I've taught this class, I may have had maybe 1 or 2 or 3 people ever fail this class. That's pretty unusual for high school, okay? because it's very simple. As long as you can pay attention and you come to school, you're going to be fine. Okay? So let's talk a little bit about how to be fair. Because maybe you're wondering, well, they're so important. I want to make sure she's not got favorites in here or something. She's going to be handing them out to some certain person she likes more than me or whatever. I promise you, let's make this fair. Let's talk about how we can make it fair. Raise your hand like this if you have €0 right now. Okay, if you have unearful, raise your hand like this. So let's just keep them high. If you have duh, nobody has duh, so raise however many you have right now. Zero or duh, perfect. So he's got one, she's got one, back there we got one, back right here. That's who's got what, okay? If I ask another question, raise your hand and tell me, who am I not going to call on? If everybody has their hand raised to answer a question, who in this class am I not going to call on? How many do you have? 0? Okay. The people with the euros. Why? Yeah, some people don't have one yet, so I'm not going to call on the person that already has one. That's not very fair, right? So my other question to you is think about this. What if you have one, right? What's your name? Joshua. What if Joshua has one, and I ask a question, he's the only one raising his hand? Who am I? Raise your hand and tell me, who am I going to call on? Who am I going to call on, Shakora? Joshua. Because why? He's the only one doing the work, right? He's the only one trying. I might wait around and see if maybe somebody else raises their hand that has 0, but I'm going to call on him. Does that make sense? Okay, so it's fair. So this is the thing. You're not shooting for a certain number. You're just trying to keep up with the other people, okay? So if everybody has 5 in the class, you look around, oh, everybody seems like they got 4 or 5, and you have 1, are you keeping up? You're not, okay? That's all you need to do. If you can keep up, you will not have a C, you will not have a D or a B, you will have an A, okay? I promise you. At the end of class, every day, look at this little thingy here. This is where we're going to keep our records. This is like your wallet for all your money, right? So, lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, and then there's all these numbers. Can anybody guess what this is? Can somebody try to make a guess? What do you think these things are? What do you think these things are? Raise your hand with how many euros you have right now. Yes, sir.
Weekdays?
That's right. Those are the days of the week, starting with lundi, which is Monday. So, what do you think these numbers are? 8, 9, 10, 11, What do you think those numbers are? Dates. Anybody notice anything funky about the dates? Raise your hand. Yes? They're like backwards. What goes first? The day or the month? The day or the month? The date, right? The date goes first. Guess what? That's how they do dates in Europe. That's a European way of dating it. So, of course, we're in French. We're in France zone. We're going to be doing it that way, okay? So, guess what? Do we have something that says the date for today? It would be jeudi, right? No, we just have it starting when? Monday next week. So if you got a euro today, we're at the end of class, we're going to just stick it in our envelope, in our little wallet. And then when we get here on Tuesday, we'll just add that one in to whatever else you earn. Does that make sense? And then at the end of the day, we're going to write our total, and then we're going to pass them in to the person as our team, and then your name is Maya. Maya is like the class captain. Everything's going to go to Maya. She's very special. So all the envelopes are going to come up to her. At the end of class, after school, I will empty the envelopes. And then when you come back the next day, you start with 0. You start with a clean slate, okay? Then, after 2 weeks, because I see you every other day, so that's 5 class days. After 5 class days, I'll take your total for those 5 class days. So let's say maybe your total is 30. all right, over 5 days. I will then take the class average. I'll add up everybody's totals and divide it by how many people are in the class. That gives me the average number that everybody should have. If you hit that average number, this is the best part, you get an A. You get an A. If you hit the average number in a math class, what are you probably going to earn? Probably C. If you're just average, not in here. If you can keep up and get the average, you're going to have an A. That's awesome. And guess what? I want everybody to get an A. I don't want Maya or Darika or whoever to be like way ahead of everybody else. I want everybody to have the same number if that's even possible. I want everybody to do the same amount of work. Does that make sense? What if you have more than the class average? You're going to get more than a 90, okay? If you have less than the class average, what's going to happen? You're going to get less than a 90, okay? So this is worth 50% of your grade. Every 5 class days, those zeros, okay? That usually helps people a lot. Anybody not a good test taker in here? Anybody not like tests? Okay, this is your class. You're going to rock this class. Because tests, even though they're important, if you bomb a test, you can still get an A. It's not going to kill you. Okay? What if you're absent? Is this a good class to be absent for? Is this a good class to make your dentist appointment for? I don't think so. Because if you're not here, if you're not physically here, can you get these? No. So what would you have to do the next day? You probably have to be like really participating a lot to try to make up for what you didn't get before. Now, if you're absent like 3 days or something, you've got the flu, that is different. What I usually do for that is I'll just drop the grade like it doesn't exist for you. Does that make sense? So that you're not penalized. But if you're just gone like 1 day out of those 5, then you're going to have to try to make it up on the other 4 days that you're here. Okay, so trying to be at school for this is really important. All right. Oh, at the end of class, that's when we're going to pass in our envelopes, do all that stuff. And we don't go to lunch, that's great. What if we don't do what we're supposed to do? The big one is we lose preferred activity time. Might be a warning. You can talk to me, might be a detention or referral. Guess what? This is like a really fun class. I rarely have any problems with this class. I don't anticipate to have any problems with y'all. So I'm just letting you know that that is part of the plan. This is the grading policy. I've discussed that. Look at how much tests are worth. Look how much homework is worth. I'm going to share a secret with you. We don't really have homework. I'm going to say it again. We don't really have homework. Okay? In the sense that there's not always something you have to turn in the next time. Anybody in favor of that? Anybody a fan? Okay, me too. Because guess what? When we come in here, we work our tails off from bell to bell. And we use every minute of that time. Homework might be look over your new vocabulary words. Homework might be watch something on YouTube, listen to a song. Homework might be make some flashcards that have pictures and a French word on the back, something like that. But guess what? A lot of times it's just going to be like, please do something with French outside school. But as long as you come in here and you work, we don't have a lot of homework. We will have maybe 2 to 4 projects for the whole year. We might have a project a semester. One could be a scrapbook of your family. Wow, that's really difficult, okay? It could be writing a little storybook or something. It's very, very straightforward, the projects. So where are you getting your grade from? Your performance in class, mostly, okay? All right. So we need to get to know each other just a little bit, and we've been sitting for way too long, way, way, way too long. So what I have on your desk is you have a getting to know you bingo. It says find someone who bingo. So the not to just check off the boxes, like get the bingo. The goal is to start a conversation with somebody. So I might go up and just, I don't want to say, hey, do you have a favorite TV show? You don't want to. Do you have a favorite TV show? You do? What is it? Okay, what's your name? Madison, great. Okay, that's not the point. That's not the point of this. The point of this is to go and be like, hi, what's your name? Josh. Okay, cool. I'm Mrs. Onell. So do you have like a favorite TV show or anything? Oh, really? You don't like to watch TV? Well, what do you like to do instead? Oh, you play video games. Do you play Pokemon Go? You don't? Well, what's your favorite video game? Cool. Awesome. And so, like, we can have a conversation like human beings, right? And we can get to know each other. I might even shake his hand, and then maybe he'll ask me a question or something, and I'll be like, well, it's so nice to meet you, and I'll see ya, okay? And then go find somebody else to talk to. Does that make sense? All right, so go. Yes? What was that? Oh, okay, let me get it for you. Actually, there's one in that desk right there. See it? So just circulate, just talk to some people. Introduce yourselves. About 3 minutes.
Girl, I'm all in front of the camera.
I'm okay, like, right there. Try to talk to as many people as you can.
Because I can train it. I mean, you don't live for a short time. When you qualify
Okay, got 1 minute. Try to switch it up. I'm gonna go outside and push the door. Are you kidding? No. Is that appropriate? Someone look over here. Do you go by Rose? Is that right? Okay, that's pretty. Okay. Class. we were gonna prove that you can learn French in French. It's a pretty big promise. So what I'd like for us to do is just, since for this little demo, we're not gonna have any euros for this particular part, so I'd rather us practice passing in the envelopes. Look at the front of your envelope. Anybody notice anything interesting about that? You have no, do you have a first name? No, you don't have a first name. That's because you are going to get to pick a new French name. Woohoo! So if you look at, there's a sheet, a list. That was the other thing you had on your desk. French names is so much fun. Yeah, you can go grab one over there. And just be careful, if you look at the top of the list, it says liste de prénoms masculins. Okay, and then you got the other side, which is féminin. So make sure you're looking at the right side of the list so that you're boy or girl. I would say that we probably won't pick names next week, or maybe it might be the week after, okay? Since I only see you 2 days next week. The names, sometimes they sound very different from how they are written. And so what you can do is you can ask me, like, if you want to come by after school, or like before, or during a middle of class, and be like, can you just pronounce that for me really fast? I just want to hear it. I want to see if it sounds good. And the other thing is, if you look at the bottom of the page, on the left, the right column at the very, very bottom, there's a website. It says forvo.com. Does everybody see that? That is a really cool website where you can type in any word in any language, choose the language, and there's people who have volunteered their time to pronounce the word out loud. There's just like a little sound file, and you can click it. So if you type in one of these names to forvo.com, you pick French as your language, there'll be lots of little samples of people saying it who are actually French. So if you just don't have time to come ask me to pronounce it for you. The other thing is, does everybody see above that website, in France, double names are pretty common. So Marianne or Anne-Claire, Marie-France or something like that. And then for guys, Jean-Louis, Pierre-André, there's all kinds of names that are doubled. And I have some of the starter, some of the names that usually go together. So that would be cool if you wanted to do a double name, if there's 2 names that you just can't choose between or something like that. So it's up to you. But what I would do, this is your sheet, you get to keep it, you can write on it. I would just star the ones, that you kind of eventually, look over this week and look over next week. I would have at least 3 ready to go, because somebody could snatch your name, right? And then you're like, uh-oh, I didn't really think of another name, so I gotta pick one really fast, and it might not be one that you really like. If some people have asked me, what if your name is Rose? Rose, that's on the list. So if she would like to keep her name, go ahead. That's cool. If you for example, Emily. Do I have an Emily in here? Emily, which is pronounced a little bit different, okay? That y'all can keep it if you want. It's just up to you. But you can go something totally different. So all I want you to do is put your little euros in your envelope. On Tuesday, whatever you earn Tuesday, we'll just add it all together. So pass this group up to Rose. Over here, you're all going to pass to Dorica. Over here, you're going to pass to Emily. And then over here, you're going to pass to Maya. And then Rose, you're going to pass over to Josh. And Dorica, you pass up to her. Does that make sense? And then pass it all into Maya. Yes, ma'am. Are you just asking about how to pass them in? Yes, absolutely. I'm going to add it to the pile for sure. Ooh. Here you go. Awesome. Wonderful. These little roses right there. Okay, so you can keep these papers. You're going to need, you can keep them out on your desk. I'll make sure we have enough time to finish. So here we go. All I need you to do right now is listen to me, watch what I do, and when I signal for you to do it, that you do it. Don't get overwhelmed, don't freak out, just pay the best attention you can. Make good guesses. Because I'm about to prove to you that you don't need English to learn French. You ready? Okay. Voici les ordres. Les ordres sont super importants en classe. Numéro 1. Levez-vous. 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 Bravo. Levez-vous. Asseyez-vous. Asseyez-vous. Levez-vous. Levez-vous. Levez la main. Levez la main. Levez la main. Ça, c'est la main. Baissez la main. Baissez la main. Levez la main. Baissez la main. Asseyez-vous. Asseyez-vous. Bravo. Levez la main. Levez la main. Baissez la main. Levez-vous. Levez-vous. Bravo. Levez la main. Baissez la main. Maintenant, marchez. Marchez. Très bien. Marchez. Excellent. Marchez et levez la main. Marchez et levez la main. Excellent. Marchez et baissez la main. Excellent. Marchez, marchez. Arrêtez-vous. Très bien. Marchez. Marchez. Arrêtez-vous. Excellent. Levez la main. Baissez la main. Marchez. Levez la main et marchez. Baissez la main et marchez. Arrêtez-vous. Asseyez-vous. Asseyez-vous. Levez la main. Levez la main. Voilà. Levez la main. Baissez la main. Levez-vous. Levez-vous. Marchez. Marchez. Courez. Beep, 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 beep. Courez. 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 Marchez. Marchez. Courez. Courez vite. Courez. Marchez. Courez. Arrêtez-vous. Levez la main. Courez. Courez, courez, vite, 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 courez. Marchez. Marchez. Baissez la main. Tournez. Tournez. Oh, arrêtez-vous. Arrêtez-vous. Asseyez-vous. Asseyez-vous. Levez-vous. Marchez. Marchez et tournez. Excellent. Tournez. Arrêtez-vous. Courez. Courez, vite, vite, vite. Courez, courez. Arrêtez-vous. Très bien. Ok. Regardez. Regardez-moi. Regardez Rose. Regardez Rose. Regardez Josh. Regardez Emily. Voilà. Regardez le tableau. Le tableau. Regardez moi. Regardez Emily. Regardez le tableau. Regardez Mademoiselle Whaley. Voilà. OK? Oui. Oh là là. Je déteste cet ordre. OK? Parlez en anglais. Hi, how are you? Parlez en anglais. Parlez en anglais.
How you doing?
Arrêtez-vous. Arrêtez-vous. Ça veut dire stop, n'est-ce pas? Arrêtez-vous. Ouh. Je déteste ça, OK? Parlez en anglais.
Hey, what's up?
Arrêtez-vous, arrêtez-vous. Woo. Oui.
Ça va?
Dites bien.
Bien.
Dites au revoir.
Au revoir.
Ok, dites bonjour.
Bonjour.
Dites ça va.
Ça va?
Dites très bien.
Très bien.
Dites au revoir.
Au revoir.
Encore, dites bonjour.
Bonjour.
Dites ça va.
Ça va?
Dites bien. Bien. Dites au revoir.
Au revoir.
Maintenant, parlez en français. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Ça va?
Ça va?
Bien. Au revoir. Encore, parlez en français. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Ça va? Ça va? Bien. Au revoir. Ok. Écoutez. Écoutez-moi. Oui. Écoutez. La musique. Écoutez. C'est super. N'est-ce pas? Oui. Écoutez la musique.
Envie de croire à la seconde chance
Écoutez la musique ici. Et maintenant, levez la main. Levez la main. Baissez la main. Parlez en français.
Bonjour.
Ça va?
Bien.
Bien. Au revoir. Tournez. 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 Arrêtez-vous. Courez. Courez. Vite, 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 vite. Marchez. 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 Parlez français. Bonjour. Ça va? Bien. Au revoir. Ok, maintenant, arrêtez-vous. Écoutez la musique. Écoutez. Écoutez la musique. Mais bien. Et dansez. 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 Oh, danse, merci. Dansez. Dansez. Okay, dansez. 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 Ok, arrêtez-vous et juste écoutez. Écoutez. Voilà. Super. Donc, dites au revoir.
Au revoir.
Asseyez-vous. Asseyez-vous. Ok, juste asseyez-vous. 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 Ah, voilà. Levez-vous. 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 Marchez. Dansez. Dansez. Levez la main. Levez la main. Asseyez-vous. Asseyez-vous. Ah, applaudissez. Tapez les mains. Wow. C'est possible. Français dans la classe est possible? Oui? Oui. Possible. Wow. Can you do this? Can you do this? Raise your hand if you can do this. Yes, everybody should raise their hand. You can do this. It is fun. Okay, it is fun, but do you have to pay attention? Yeah, do you have to make some good guesses? Are you always right? That's okay. We're just learning, right? You're gonna make mistakes. You gotta take risks, right? You just gotta try. So I promise you, you can do this. And you're actually going to learn French. You're actually going to be able to speak and understand French when we learn it in this way. So talk to somebody that's taken French 2, or talk to somebody who's taken French 1, and they might, maybe not be super good at speaking it yet, but they understand a lot, okay? So over this week, look at your French names, try to kind of think about which one you might like to pick, and we'll probably pick those up next week, but maybe the week after. So I will let you go ahead and pack up your things.
Just excuse this interruption. Watson Campbell, please report to the guidance office. Watson Campbell, please report to the guidance office.
The other thing is Remind 101. Do you all use that in your other classes? dum-dum. No, and it's number 1. So by the end of next week, everybody needs to have signed up for that. It's just a way for me to talk to you. And then French Club, I really need to start talking to you about French Club. Maybe next week we're going to have a meeting for some officer elections. If you are maybe not sure,